Hello, wedding wanderers. My name is Assumpta and welcome to Ave Creations TV, a home for busy professionals and entrepreneurs who want to plan a timeless, sophisticated and unforgettable wedding celebration or special event. Welcome, welcome, welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be addressing the question, should I hire an inexperienced wedding supplier? So if you want to know more, stick around. In case you didn't know and you've not checked out my website, which you really should, or my Instagram, links below, I specialise in planning luxe multicultural weddings. They come with their own set of challenges and nuances, and with weddings where you're fusing together different cultures, there's loads of things to consider. One of those things may be that you have an uncle, an aunt, or a friend that has a service that they can provide or has been doing something for your family for many, many years. And when you decide that you're getting married, they either want to gift you that service or pitch their services to you so that you can hire them for your wedding. They may not be experienced in the wedding industry, but they may have years worth of experience or no experience whatsoever. So this is why this discussion would be helpful to you. Let me also say now, this is not a video bashing new suppliers. We all started from somewhere. We all needed that initial person or people to hire us in order to get experience. It's the age-old tale, trying to get a job, and then they tell you need experience, but you need to get the job in order to get the experience. I get it. Just be clear, this is not that kind of video. I simply want to have a discussion with you to give you things to think about so that you can make the decision for yourself with your particular set of circumstances, because everybody's will be different. So here we go. First things first, adjust your expectations or set them. By that I mean, if you are hiring a complete novice or somebody who's only worked on 1 or 2 weddings before yours, you have to know that they may not have the capabilities or and definitely not the experience to be able to execute something super complicated. They might do, because some people are gifted in that way, but by and large, it's not a common trait. So you need to set your expectations. If you're expecting something outlandish and over the top, you would need to hire somebody with the experience to produce that. Whereas if you really don't mind and you're happy to have something a bit simpler, or it depends again on the supplier and that's specifically what they do, then by all means hire a novice. At a point, if you want to hear, I will do a separate video on hiring family members, but that's not what this video is about. It's literally about novices. Another thing I would be very quick to tell you is have a contract. In case you didn't know, my first degree is in law. I say first because I have a master's as well in creative and professional writing. But as I said, I studied law and I worked in a criminal law firm for the first couple of years of my working journey. The reason why I say have a contract, or at least get something down in writing, is so that it is clear what the person can deliver and what you are expecting. So if, God forbid, something goes wrong, you have something to refer back to later down the line. When you have to put things in writing, it makes it clear for all parties what is expected. And if somebody is telling you they can do the most, when they have to write it down and probably put a signature to it, it will quickly become clear. If they're reluctant to do that, that might be cause for alarm, and then maybe you might know that they can't do it. But either way, a contract helps. I know it's not always easy if it's a family member or a friend, and sometimes not necessary. I'm going to be honest with you because, full disclosure, I did work on one of my clients' weddings where her auntie, who had been making cakes for their family for pretty much her whole life, made her wedding cake. But this was somebody with experience in making wedding cakes on all sorts of cakes. So it worked really, really well. And the cake that she produced was beautiful. They had clear lines of communication. Things were put in writing, and also they had a planner. So I was able to ask the necessary questions, dimensions, literally every question that maybe even the bride and groom had forgotten to ask. I was able to ask to ensure that what they wanted was delivered on the day, and praise God that it really was. But if you hire somebody who possibly isn't that experienced and you don't know the intricacies of their craft, you won't know the questions to ask. And if you don't have a planner, you may run into troubles. For example, the UK seems to be experiencing warmer and warmer temperatures in recent years. If you are getting married in summer, in a marquee, and the temperature is really warm, You may end up with a sliding cake if you've decided to go for something that's made out of buttercream. You need somebody who's experienced to be able to tell you these things, whether it's a DJ and all the things that go with electrical issues or sound limiters, or a photographer, particularly multicultural weddings. We asked our photographer all sorts of questions. Can you light somebody who has a brown skin tone and also a pale skin tone? Because not everybody knows how to do these things. So it helps to have a professional who has dealt with these issues before. So that's something for you to consider as well. The next thing I would implore you think about is experience. If they have zero experience, as I said before, you set your expectations. But even if they have a little experience, there are still some things that they may not know. As with the examples I just gave you with a DJ and electrics and a baker and temperatures. If somebody is a complete novice, you need to be okay with their lack of experience. That doesn't preclude you from hiring them. You still can. But if something goes wrong on the day, experience is what usually saves it. With each new event, I learn more and more and more and more. Something always goes wrong at an event, not just weddings, any event. And it could be something really minute up to something catastrophic. Thankfully, catastrophic doesn't happen super often, but there's always usually something small that happens. And when you're working with experienced vendors, usually you can see people rallying to fix it, and the guests and the couple would be none the wiser. That's what you want. When you hire a complete novice or somebody that doesn't really have much experience, that's not to say they can't fix the problem. They probably will. It just might take a little bit longer. So as I said in the beginning, you need to manage your expectations. All of these points go hand in hand. Next, I would suggest you ask the person for reviews. If they've perhaps worked on 1 or 2 events or weddings, they might have reviews from their previous clients. And if they have none whatsoever, then you're just going to have to go by faith. And also, please give them grace if something doesn't happen the way that you wanted it to. But as I said, if you are able to speak to somebody that they have worked with previously, you can ask them all the questions that you want to. How was their experience? Was the person professional? Did they arrive on time? Did they like the finished product? Ask as many questions as possible, because that is what will set you at ease so that you know on your special day you can just focus on enjoying yourself and the service that you want will be delivered. The final point I would probably make is wondering whether you'd get on with this supplier. I would assume that you did, because if you don't know them from Adam, if they're not a family member or a friend, that perhaps somebody that you've met at a wedding fair and really connected with, their passion is probably what led you to consider this in the first place. Lord knows my passion is what booked me my first few jobs. Having said that, I had planned many of my own events and also helped friends with their weddings prior to actually starting my business. So if somebody wanted reviews, I had somewhere to send them. But in the beginning, working for complete strangers, passion and personality is what secured those jobs for me. So if you do get on with somebody and you think that you gel really well, that might be the reason why you think, yeah, I'm going to hire this person. Having said that, passion and personality are not enough to ensure a seamless and smooth service. Although, if something does go wrong, it's a lot easier to forgive somebody that you really, really like than somebody that you don't necessarily get on with. So take that into consideration. I hope that these points have all helped and given you something to think about, and please apply them to your specific situation. Maybe watch this video with your partner or any other decision makers, such as your parents, if they are contributing to the finances of your wedding. And then you can decide whether or not you want to hire that inexperienced supplier. They could do some fantastic work for you. One of the beauties of hiring someone who is a little bit experienced is that they're trying to build their portfolio, and therefore they will probably go over and above for you. Not always, but oftentimes that's what happens. So I can understand why you want to do it. With luxury weddings though, it's rare that you would hire somebody that's inexperienced for a number of reasons, mainly because your venue probably wouldn't allow it. They like to work with people who are experienced in order to avoid any calamities. But like I said, it's for you to think about, something for you to consider. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like it, please like. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you're considering hiring an inexperienced supplier, please let me know in the comments below. I'm going to let you know whether or not we did for our wedding and what the experience was, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.